Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes, sure, ma'am. Good morning, students. Am I audible? The board is clear?
Yes, ma'am. Good
Yes,
morning, ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. We shall wait for a few minutes. Let others also join.
Ma'am, it seems Pujita is in the waiting room. Can you please?
Ma'am, yes, I will let her inside. I am letting inside, but it's not allowing me. Wait a minute.
Oh.
I'm seeing Pujita Sadish is there in admit room, but I'm not able to get it down. The problem is somewhere. And others were waiting. I was able to do it, and now yes, yes. Pujita has come. Yes, Pujita. Problem in your side. Net problem. Savana, there a few minutes. We shall wait, ma. Yes. Admit. Yes, ma. Good morning, John.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma. Good morning, ma. Ma, have you gone through all the three chapters? Do you have any doubt in the three chapters?
Ma'am, I have a doubt,
Ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes. What is your doubt?
Ma'am, metal oxides are insoluble in water
No,
except.
metal oxides are soluble in water. No, we cannot make a generalized statement just like that.
Oh, okay,
We
ma'am.
cannot make a generalized statement because metallic oxides are basic oxides.
Okay.
Or bases. All bases are soluble in water? No. We can classify the bases into two categories. We call one the bases which are soluble in water are called as alkalis.
Okay, ma'am.
Bases. The first group metal, second group metal, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium. These sometimes will be soluble. Aluminum hydroxide is not completely soluble. Like
Okay, ma'am.
when you take other bases, all are not soluble. I cannot make a statement that. But I can make a statement that metallic oxides are basic in nature. So
Okay.
the basic oxides which are soluble in water, we call them as alkali. Are they completely soluble? No, some are sparingly soluble. So we cannot make a generalized statement like that. They are soluble.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Any other doubts?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Lewis dot structure is named after scientist, ma'am.
I couldn't get you. Be
Yeah,
clear.
Lewis dot structure, ma'am.
Emma?
Lewis dot structure, ma'am.
Yeah, based on the scientists, yeah. First, why they come to know why the compound is being formed. First, they were trying to find out why some of the elements are in the elementary state itself. Some are immediately forming compound. For example, they want to say helium, neon, argon, they are remaining in the elementary state. Gold, silver, elementary state. But there are some elements, sodium, potassium, readily combines with other elements to form a compound. They want to find out why. When they were trying to find out the reason for why some are forming only with certain elements. If I take first group element sodium, they readily combines immediately with halogen, react with oxygen, react with sulfur. But reactivity with other elements are very lesser. Why? When they want to make a study, when they were studying the compounds, why certain elements combines readily with certain elements, but with other elements, reactivity is very slow. When they were studying out, they come to know that all elements want to attain the noble gas configuration. Noble gases, why they find out the noble gases, why they are not reacting? Because they already attain the octet structure. What is octet structure? Having 8 electrons in the outer motion. So when they examined all the compounds, the elements in the compound state have attained their octet structure. So they choose for the elements, they choose the element with whom they can, with what they can attain the octet structure, they readily combine. If they are not able to attain the structure with certain elements, they do not combine. Such information they arrived. Then only they told that the elements are combined to form a compound. What is the main reason? Because in order to attain their octet structure. This information was first given by Lewis. And that was the first information given by Lewis. We call that as a Lewis theory. And how to show them the bond formation, he only brought out. So only the name is being, the structure is being given to him itself is Lewis dot structure.
Okay, ma'am.
Oh.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Ma'am, hydrogen is a non-metal, ma'am, but then why is it placed in the reactivity series?
Hydrogen is a non-metal, is replaced in the reactivity series is mainly one of the reasons only. To give a very good, actually, reactivity series was put forward only after the displacement reaction. They find out that some elements are displacing acid, hydrogen from acid, some are not displacing. Then they want to compare the reactivity of metal with hydrogen. Then they find out and they have brought the hydrogen element over there. Metal only reacts with acid. How you define a metal? Metal reacts with acid to liberate hydrogen, because that's the first definition. You want to identify which is a metal or not. Metal reacts with acid to liberate hydrogen. Now, whatever may be the metal, most of the metal reacts with acid to liberate hydrogen gas. But the amount of hydrogen liberated only varies. But they have found out that there's gold, silver, and noble. They don't react with any. But there are few metals do not liberate hydrogen gas. They find out why. Why it's not liberating? Then won't it is a metal? Then they find out the reactivity. So they brought hydrogen over.
Oh, okay, ma'am.
Actually, the reactivity series was brought down only to give an explanation of displacement reaction.
Okay, ma'am.
Any other doubt? Have we gone through the chapter well? I told that today we will have a question answer section of 3rd chapter. Ready for it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
If you are ready, miss, I will go with the few questions. Then I will go with the 4th chapter. 4th chapter, most of the content of the 4th chapter is deleted. Oh, yeah. Okay. If you see your 3rd chapter, mostly a one-word answer and things are there. Okay. Then we study metals, reaction of metals and non-metals with acids and compound formation of metals and ionic compounds. Okay. Akash.
Yes, ma'am.
Gives any two properties of ionic compound.
physical state and solubility.
தங்கம் physical state solubility ன்னு ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி சொல்லியே தங்கம்.
Ma'am.
I ask you to give any two properties of ionic compounds. Appa physical state solubility na it is a side heading tangam. What how to ionic compounds?
Should I explain, ma'am?
Ionic explain the properties of ionic compounds means physical state and solubility means where you have explained that.
Sorry, I'll explain, ma'am. Physical state means they are always in solid state, and why means because they have strong force of attraction. So ionic compound.
Ionic compounds are having strong. Ionic compounds have strong electrostatic force of attraction. Complete the statement, Akash. Ionic compounds
they have strong electrostatic force of attraction. So they so due to this rigid structure, they will be in solid state, ma'am.
Now you complete my statement. Ionic compounds have strong electrostatic force of attraction. Dash. Ionic compounds have strong electrostatic force of attraction. Dash. Ionic force of attraction is between the compounds or in the compound. Akash.
Between the compound.
Between the compound. Adan நீ சொல்றத வெச்சு நான் கண்டுபிடிச்சேன். It is not between the compound. In the compound.
Okay.
Sodium chloride Na plus and Cl minus only having ionic force of attraction. Strong electrostatic force of attraction. NaCl is not having. No.
Okay, ma'am.
So ionic force, you are telling that is ionic compounds have strong force of attraction in them. Understand or not? It's
Yes,
not between the ionic compounds, in the ionic
compound. Okay, ma'am.
Because of strong electrostatic force of attraction, the ions are held very tightly, so they are exist in the solid state. Next step.
Solubility, ma'am. The compounds are generally soluble in water and insoluble in solvents such as petrol and kerosene, etc.
CS2, carbon disulfide, is ionic compound is soluble.
Ma'am?
CS2, carbon disulfide, is a solvent. It's a solvent. Last year you might have studied to dissolve sulfur. Sulfur dissolves in carbon disulfide. You might have studied last year mixture when you study iron and sulfur mixture. Iron and sulfur are kept as a mixture. To remove iron, you use magnet. In the mixture, when I use carbon disulfide, iron doesn't dissolve. Only sulfur dissolve. Carbon disulfide is also a solvent. Thus, ionic compounds dissolve in carbon disulfide. I told one sentence to keep in mind. Like with soluble. Polar compounds will be soluble in polar solvents. Non-polar compounds will be soluble in non-polar solvents. CS2 is non-polar. So water will be, the ionic compounds will be soluble or not?
Well, they will be soluble in non-polar compounds only.
Ionic compounds soluble only in polar solvents. Because ionic compounds is charge is there, no charge is there means we call it as polar. Ionic compounds are soluble in polar solvents, whereas insoluble in non-polar solvents like kerosene, diesel, CS2, carbon disulfide, carbon tetrachloride, carbon disulfide, carbon tetrachloride are non-polar.
Okay.
Because non-polar. Okay, you understand it. That only I gave an explanation, I think so. When the automotive people are working on the people, those who are working in the automobile, they have their hand will be greased. So how they remove the grease from the hand after the work? Are they directly washing with water? If they wash with water, will it dissolve? Will that grease be removed?
No, ma'am.
Why? Your grease.
They will add some petrol or some.
Why? Your grease is nothing but hydrocarbon. Hydrocarbon is non-polar. Your kerosene is also hydrocarbon is non-polar. Like will soluble. Non-polar will be soluble in non-polar solvents only. So to remove that, what they do, they remove all the grease with the help of kerosene or diesel or petrol. Then they wash with water. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
That is the reason. Okay. Then Pujita, do ionic compounds conduct electricity in solid state?
No, ma'am.
Why?
Ma'am, it is not possible due to the rigid structure, ma'am.
We won't give full mark. Good explain. See here, your answer should be self-explanatory.
Ma'am, as they are rigid.
Complete information, I should get it. To get the complete answer, I should not post another question. Your answer should be self-explanatory. It should give the complete information. Do ionic compounds conduct electricity in solid state? No, you don't. Yes, absolutely right.
No,
Justify.
ma'am, ionic compounds in solid state do not conduct electricity because movement of ions in solid state is not possible
That is the main
due
reason.
to their rigid structure.
Due to rigid structure or due to their strong electrostatic force of attraction. There is no movement of ions. That is the main reason. Next, what is meant by Amrita? How do you define ionic bond? What are meant by ionic bond?
Ma'am, ionic bond is a bond between metals and non-metals. It is formed by a strong electrostatic force between them.
Now, how the bond is formed? Yes, it's formed between metals and non-metals. Absolutely right. How the ionic bond is formed between metals and non-metals?
Transfer of electrons takes place.
Transfer of electrons from where to where?
From metals to non-metals.
Which electron is being transferred?
Ma'am?
Which electron is transferred? There are many electrons. Are there many? Write the electronic configuration of sodium chloride, sodium. I write the electronic configuration as 2, 8, 1. Which electron is transferred? 2 electron. Electron from the 2 or electron from the 8, electron from 1.
Ma'am, the electron from 1.
Then how do you say that one electron is what electron we call that specifically? There's a specific word for that electron. See, to get one answer from your question, from you, I'm putting how many questions over there. When a question being asked, your answer should be self-explanatory. Hamsini, how you define ionic bond?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the ionic bond is formed by the complete transfer of valence electrons from metal to a non-metal, where the positively charged electron moves from the metal to the non-metal.
Positive electron, electron is always negatively charged. By complete transfer of electron from metal to non-metal. Non-metal. Yes.
Okay, the electron moves from the metal to the non-metal, and the non-metal changes to a negatively charged atom.
Charge ion, atom.
Okay.
Now let me charge ion.
The
electrostatic force of attraction between these ions results in the formation of ionic bond.
Okay, ma'am.
Amrita?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Did you find out your mistake?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Niranjan?
Ma'am?
Niranjan, liquid metal, Niranjan.
Ma'am, liquid metal. Ma'am, bromine.
Liquid metal, Tanga.
No, ma'am. Mercury.
Bromine, you told no. Then the question will be asked as?
Ma'am, liquid non-metal.
Liquid non-metal. Okay. Next. Sandhya.
Yes, ma'am.
Metals are good conductor, the best conductor of heat.
Ma'am, best conductor of heat is
Searching the answer.
metals.
Metals are. I'm asking the metal which is the best conductor of heat. Searching the answer.
Ma'am, can I tell, ma'am?
Wait, Sandhya. Wait, ma. Nirupama? Yes?
Iron.
Iron not a best. Niranjan? Sorry, Niranjan. Nirupama.
Ma'am, silver.
Yes, silver is the best
Copper.
conductor. Now, copper will come next only. The best
Okay,
conductor is silver only. The best means we give only one option. The best means only one.
Ma'am, silver conducting electricity only, no, ma'am.
No, conductor of heat. Very good conductor. If you have silver vessels at your home, just if you put a hot water, you cannot hold the silver vessel. Stainless steel. We use coffee. We drink coffee, milk in a hot conditions. Stainless steel. We are able to withhold it, but silver vessels you cannot withhold. You will find it difficult to drink with the help of silver vessels. Silver cup is there. People there. If you drink, if you hot coffee or anything, nowadays people give us as a prestigious issue. They give us silver tumblers. They give, but it is very hot. You cannot hold it itself. The best conductor of heat is only silver. The next only copper comes. Poor conductor of heat, Pujita. Poor conductor of heat. Pujita, are you able to talk?
Ma'am?
Yes, poor conductor of heat.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, ma'am.
Poor
Network issues, so I could
poor
hear you
conduct-
after a long time.
Okay, poor conductor of metals of poor conductor of heat. Metals which are poor conductor of heat.
Ma'am, gold, lead, zinc.
Gold will not come.
Lead, zinc.
Mercury can come. Gold is a good conductor of heat, amma. If it is not a good conductor, you cannot melt it and you cannot turn into jewelry. You cannot drawn into thin sheets. How they are drawing into thin sheets and wires? Just by heating it, melting it, then they are doing it. If they are not a good conductor of heat, we cannot drawn into very thin wire. It's very, very difficult. Gold is good conductor of heat only. Next, what is Ovia? What is meant by acidic oxide? Give example. What is meant by acidic oxide? Give example. Ovia. Ovia. Ovia, are you there in the class? If you know, tell me yes. I do not know, miss. I will ask for somebody. Ovia.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. I was unmuted.
Okay. What is meant by acidic oxide? Give example.
Yes, ma'am. Acidic oxides or oxides that react with water to form an acid or a base to form a salt.
To form? Reacts with base to form?
Salt, ma'am.
Salt and water.
Salt and water, ma'am.
Example?
Sulfuric acid, ma'am.
Ganga, நான் oxide கேட்கிறேன். நீ sulfuric acid சொல்ற? I told acidic oxide. You are telling sulfuric acid example you are telling. How?
That's carbon dioxide.
Be specific. Carbon dioxide. How
Okay,
do you prove? CO2 plus H2O gives H2CO3. Therefore, it's an acidic form. So, it's said to be an acidic oxide. Clear? So, I can say non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature.
Okay, ma'am.
All non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. Or all non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. Ovia, you only am asking.
Ma'am, can you please repeat, ma'am? I'm not able to hear you.
Non-metallic oxides are dash in nature.
Acidic in nature.
Or all non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Watch it. Are there any exceptions are there or not? Are there any exceptions are there or not?
Yes, ma'am.
What are the exceptions?
HNO3, ma'am.
HNO3. Hey, HNO3 is a nitric acid, amma. Nitric acid is obtained from NO2. NO2 is acidic in nature. Nitric acid, you are saying. Then how it will be HNO3? It's an acidic oxide. Exceptions. Amrita, any exceptions are there?
Tell ma'am.
Inama?
I'll tell ma'am. Zinc
Yes.
oxide, aluminum oxide, ma'am.
Tango, zinc oxide. Zinc is metal or non-metal, Tango?
Metal, ma'am.
And now we are talking about metal or non-metal, Tango.
Non-metal.
Appa inge eppadi zinc oxide, you will write as an answer over here.
Yes, sorry.
Pujita?
Ma'am,
All non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. Or all non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. Who knows? Anybody knows the answer? Raise up your hand.
Ma'am, I know, ma'am.
Who is that? Akasha,
Ma'am, Niranjan.
Niranjan, tell me, ma.
Ma'am, all non-metallic oxides are not acidic in nature, ma'am. Some are neutral in nature, ma'am. Such as-
Neutral oxides. What are they?
such as the carbon monoxide, nitrous oxide, nitric oxide, etc.
And what? H2O.
As per me.
CO, carbon monoxide, nitric oxide, NO, N2O, H2O. These oxides are neutral oxides. All non-metallic oxides are not acidic oxides. You can say non-metallic oxides are acidic oxides. Exceptions are there. CO, NO, CO, NO, N2O, H2O. They are called as neutral oxides. Nirupama, how do you define them as neutral? What do you mean by neutral oxides?
They are both acidic and basic in nature.
Be good. Be good.
No,
If the oxides which shows both acidic and basic nature are called as oxides which shows both acidic and basic nature are called as the
can you
oxides.
repeat it again?
The oxides.
may I try, ma'am?
Ma'am,
oxi-
neutral oxides which they are not acidic or basic in nature.
Which do not show acidic property, which neither shows acidic property nor basic property. That is called as
Neutral oxide.
the one which shows both acidic property and basic property. What do you call that? சொல்லு.
Amphoteric, ma'am.
இப்பதான் படிச்சு வந்தோம். இப்பதான் புக்கை வச்சு சொல்றோம், புக்கை பார்த்து. Because I cannot check it out. Amphoteric oxide. Example for amphoteric oxide. What?
Ma'am?
Aluminium oxide and zinc oxide.
Aluminium oxide and zinc oxide are the examples of amphoteric oxide. Tangangala, super இருக்கீங்க போங்க. Hello, go through the content and come. No doubt, no doubt. But coming unprepared for the class, then how to go ahead with the class. Yeah, things are, I will tell you very simple. You have ample time at home. You cannot deny it. Now travel time, going time, everything is being reduced. You are at home. Yes, being always at home is highly, I'm feeling worried bored that you can say. Yes, absolutely. I don't deny it. But can we go out? Yes, I can go out, provided it is essential, because outside the surrounding is not apt for us to go. Now cases are increasing, things are going very bad. It is not apt to go out unless until it is very, very highly essential. Essential. Otherwise be inside. That's the thing, because situation is not that much good for us to go. So we have to be based on our benefits. If you see that, we should be at home. Yeah, being at home, what to do? How long I will study? You can say that. I'm not denying it. But when you study, you give your full concentration. Then you relax. You see, whatever the thing you are undergoing, we also undergo the same situation. Nobody is away from that. Each and every, think of, compared to you, you are having some other work to do. Think of the small children who are very younger age to you. Those who don't have studies this much. Young children, 2 years old, 3 years old, 5 years old. How, without going outside, how they will be inside the house? Think of those people also. Or we are to save ourselves, we have to be at home. But only thing is, make use of the time in a better way. That's what I can say. But this ample time is there. You can make use of it in an effective way. It's up to you whether to do it or not. Ball is in your court. It depends upon how you make use of it in a better way. That's what I can say. Because the government has now reduced the portion, and with the reduced portion only you are going to take up the test, and your parents also inspire along with your school teachers. Some extra effort is being taken by your parents for you to put up in to extra support. Everything is being provided. It is your duty how to make use of this in a better way. See, a school also doing the same thing. We are not doing extra thing other than what your school does or what the CBSE has given us. You are not reading extra. What is the CBSE do given the portion? School is also doing, we are also doing. Then what is there? Same portion you are repeating 2 times. Your parents have spent a lot of money to the school, and also for extra support they are giving them. Why don't you learn it? Very simple. You are not having daily classes. Then find what is being learned for 1 hour. If you sit and learn for 10 to 15 minutes, go through that and come. What is there? See, the ball is in your court. It depends upon how you play the game. That's all I could say. Make use of the time in an effective way. Then I too, see, if after taking the class, if the response is not good, I too get depressed. That is what happens for me. Think of, you are teaching a child very nicely, everything you are told, God gave all the information, and you are asking the question, the child did not answer it, whether you are teaching your sister, brothers, or if they don't answer, then what do you say? Will you teach them again? The same way, how you taught? So, the ball is in your court. It's up to you how to make use of it. Let us go to the next chapter, 4th chapter. We are going to the 4th chapter, carbon and its compound. When I talk about carbon, we are among these chapters. You are having separately one chapter for to study carbon and its compounds. No other element has given such importance. Such importance is only given for carbon. What? It has a specific nature. Understood? What I'm telling is, there in you have only 5 chapters. First chapter is a general chapter, chemical reactions. Second chapter you studied as acids, bases, and salt. Together you read. Third, metals and non-metals. Together you read. But separately we have one chapter for carbon. Why? Carbon's application, find its application in almost all fields. Right now, I'll tell you. If you are in a room, somebody, if you are in a room, think of what are the things surrounds you. What are things surrounds you? List of the things which is surrounds you. Start from Akash.
Cupboard.
Cupboard. What is that cupboard made up of?
Wood.
Wood. Wood is nothing but wood is obtained from tree. Tree is rich in. Rich in. What is a tree? Wood is made up of cellulose.
Ah, yes, ma'am. Cellulose.
Wood is made up of cellulose. Cellulose is nothing but carbon compound. It is made up of carbon chain. See, it's a polymer. It is main skeleton is the carbon chain. Then next is Sandhya. Other than that, you tell me. He told cupboard. Other than cupboard, what is there? Be fast.
Ma'am, bureau.
Bureau. Bureau is steel or metal. Steel or wood.
Steel.
Steel. So that comes under metal. Okay, leave it. Next, Amsini.
Switchboard.
Switchboard. Switchboard is nothing but it's a polymer.
Plastic.
It's a polymer, synthetic. It is a synthetic polymer.
Yes, ma'am.
Switchboard. So again, carbon polymer nale mainly made up of carbon only.
Okay.
Carbon is the main skeleton for polymers. A switchboard is a plastic material. It's again made up of carbon. Next person. Amrita. Tell me. Be fast.
A ceramic. Ceramic cup.
Ceramic is nothing but ceramic is obtained from chemicals plus sand. Sand means again it's not a polymer. It's a carbon is there, but the amount of carbon in that is very less in ceramic. Next wood, furniture again. Most of your house you have plastics, again a polymer. Your wooden articles, everything is carbon. Next your food, whatever the food you eat is made up of carbon. Next anything, your dress materials, if I talk about dress materials, again your dress materials, whether synthetic or it is natural, both are made up of carbon only. Synthetic means a carbon chain is there along with some chemicals is being added. Whether it is synthetic or natural, all your dress materials are mainly made up of carbon only. Mainly made up of carbon. Your body is made up of also carbon only. Your carbohydrate, your body is made up of proteins. Again, is a polymer. Is made up of carbon. And also your hormones. Organs is a major molecule. It's a bigger molecule. Again, it contains carbon. Can we find the articles which are made up of steel are very less in your house? Nuts and bolts. Like steel bureau. Window either now window cover, window pans now, because glass is made up of silica. Glass is not a polymer. Glass is not a polymer. Book again nothing but cellulose. Papers again cellulose. It is very difficult to find a material which is not a carbon. That way carbon finds its application. Think of, if that is carbon is not there, how our life would be? Our life would be very pathetic. Because carbon finds its application in many fields. Why? If I say anything is now in my house right now, board is there, it's nothing but a whiteboard. Again, it's a polymer. I have plastics, I have polymer. I'm having a system again a polymer. The only building is different. Building is a construction materials, but the carbon content present in the construction material is very less, very less. But we cannot have a substance without the carbon. So only since carbon finds its application in many fields, importance of carbon is you have to study carbon. So importance of carbon is being given much importance compared to any other elements in the periodic table. That is the only reason. If I say in the periodic table, you have 118 elements are there in the periodic table. Among the 100 elements, carbon is one of the elements. If you study the compounds, if you want to study the compounds of carbon, the number of compounds of carbon are higher than number of compounds formed by that 117 elements. Keep that in mind. Number of compounds of carbon obtained are very, very larger in number compared to the compounds of all the elements. So only a separate branch of science, chemistry is being given to study the carbon compounds as organic chemistry. Organic chemistry is the chemistry, is a branch of science, branch of chemistry. We study the compounds of carbon alone and its properties and its chemical reaction alone. Because the number of compounds of carbon are very, very large, innumerous compared to the compounds of 117 elements. So only separate branch of chemistry is being given to study carbon compounds. That branch of chemistry only we call as an organic chemistry. Now you are studying as chemistry only, but when you come for next year 11th standard, 12th standard, you can study chemistry into 3 categories. One is physical chemistry, one is inorganic chemistry, another is organic chemistry. In physical chemistry, what are the laws and rules and regulations which guides the chemical reaction you study in physical chemistry? Inorganic chemistry, you will study all compounds of all the elements, 180 elements. Organic chemistry study about the carbon compounds in organic chemical reactions. These compounds of carbon are very, very larger in number than the compounds formed by 117 elements. So separate branch of chemistry is being given. So this carbon and this compound comes under organic chemistry. Now, when I say the compounds of carbon are many in number, what is the speciality of carbon that makes carbon to form compounds? Before that, we shall study about how the bond, what is the type of bond formed by carbon? Because we are going to study about carbon. What is the type of bond formed by carbon? Carbon atomic number is 6. You will write the electronic configuration as 2, 4. But we have already seen that. That is ionic compound. We have seen that. All the elements, in order to form a compound, they want to attain the octet structure. What is meant by octet structure? Getting 8 electrons in the outermost shell. Here, this carbon can attain 8 electrons either by losing all the 4 electrons or by gaining 4 electrons. Then only it can attain the octet structure. Either it can lose all the 4 or it has to gain 4 to gain the octet structure, which is easier. So here, now let me talk about losing. When I have to remove the electron, I have to provide energy to that, because these electrons are held tightly by the nucleus. Because nucleus is positive charge, electron is negative charge. Again, you can talk about electrostatic force of attraction. To remove the electron away from the attraction of the nucleus, I have to provide energy. Suppose how many protons are there? Carbon, 6 protons, 6 electrons are there. Once the electron is removed, you get C+, which has 6 protons and 5 electrons. Now, here attraction is still more because I have only 6 protons. I have 6 protons. I have only 5 electrons. So attraction is still more. Still, I have to provide more energy. So to remove subsequent electrons, I have to apply more and more energy, which is impossible. Here, why I am telling 6 protons holding 6 electrons. Once the electron is removed, now I have only 5 electrons. Now 6 protons have to attract 5 electrons, which is very difficult. Which is very difficult is to remove the electron, because force of attraction is very strong. 6 protons holding 5 electrons, it can hold very tightly compared to here. So removal of 1 more electron, I need more energy. So to remove the subsequent electrons, I need very, very, very high energy, which is very difficult. So removing all the 4 electrons is not possible. Next step. Understood or not? Why carbon is not losing 4 electrons to attain the octet structure? To remove the electron from the nuclear force of attraction, energy has to be applied, which is very difficult, which is impossible to remove all the 4 electrons. The amount of energy needed is very, very high, which is very difficult. So carbon doesn't lose electrons. Then the other possibility, it has to gain electrons. Okay. 6 proton. Atomic number is 6. 6 proton, 6 electron. When I take the electron, it forms C minus. So 6 protons, 7 electron. When it takes 4 electron, means what you'll get 4 minus. 6 proton plus 10 electron. Sorry. 10 electron. 6 proton cannot hold 10 electron. Force of attraction will be very, very weak. 6 proton, less positive charge. Holding 10 electron will be very, very difficult. It cannot hold 10 electron. 1 or 2 you can add up more. Beyond that you cannot add. You cannot, that electron, proton cannot hold the electron. So this is also not possible. 6 proton cannot hold 10 electron. So which is not possible. So carbon neither donates 4 electron nor accepts 4 electron to attain the octet structure. Why it cannot lose 4 electron? To remove the electron, electrostatic force of attraction has to be broken down. So large amount of energy is to be applied, which is highly difficult, which is not possible. When carbon gains 4 electron, it becomes C4 minus. In that case, 6 protons cannot hold 10 electrons. Force of attraction will be very, very weak. So it cannot possible for carbon to accept 4 electrons. So neither accepts 4 electron nor loses 4 electron. Then what to do? Instead, carbon goes for sharing of electrons to form the bond. Sharing of electrons to form the bond. How? Let us see. For example, I take CH4. If this is the molecule being given, C carbon at the center, hydrogen you write like this on all the 4 sides. All the 4 sides. Carbon atomic number is 6. Electronic configuration is 2, 4. I represent the Lewis Doctor structure, only the outermost shell. Outermost shell, how many? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hydrogen, I know atomic number, it has 1 electron. 1 electron. So carbon needs 4. So it shares. It shares. You also give 1, I will also give. You also give, I also give 1. You also give me 1, I will also give. So this is 4 electron. Now hydrogen attains 2. This is common. This 2 electron is commonly shared between. It is common. Nobody can claim its ownership. It is both are shared. See, carbon also attains 8 electrons. Hydrogen can have maximum only 2 electrons because hydrogen it has only 1 shell. So maximum electron in first shell is only 2 electrons. So hydrogen attains 2 electrons. Where carbon attains 8 electrons. Or carbon attains of the structure. So the structure can be, bond formation can be written like this. The bond is formed by the mutual sharing. It is shared, mutual sharing. Mutual means you give 1, I will give 1. If you give 2, I will give 2. That is, bond formed due to the mutual sharing of electrons between the atoms results in the formation of bond called, this type of bond is called as a covalent bond. So carbon forms covalent bond. It's a non-metal, it forms a covalent bond because it cannot lose electrons. Losing electrons to attain the octet structure, large energy is needed. Gain electron to attain the octet structure is also very difficult because a less number of protons cannot hold large number of electrons. Then how to go ahead? By mutual sharing of electrons. The mutual sharing of electrons between the atoms results in the formation of covalent bond. Let us see few examples. Let us say for hydrogen. Hydrogen forms H2 molecule. Atomic number of hydrogen is 1. I write it as 1 electronic configuration. I represent as H. I represent as H. It cannot donate, completely donate. It cannot also accept because both are similar nature. Instead, what they do? They combine to form share. So now this is being shared. This electron is common for both. By sharing, what they did, both have gained, both have attained the stable configuration. So they result in the formation of a single bond. Let me go with the next element. I'm rubbing off. Come along with me. I'm going with the next one. Next is fluorine. See here, fluorine. Atomic number is 9A. Electronic configuration I write it as 2,7. Fluorine, how I write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This fluorine 1, 2. I represent by different symbols. Why? Which electron from which atom to show. It also need 1 electron. This also need 1 electron. But it cannot donate. Both are similar atom. One cannot donate, one cannot accept because both are same characteristics. How one will donate and one will accept. Characteristics of the atom, both are same atom. Both will have same characteristics. So they cannot form a bond. What they do, they go for sharing. These 2 electrons are common for both. But this 6 electrons of this element, this 6 electrons of this element. See, by sharing, they attain after structure. These 2 electrons only common. These are for their atom. Fluorine can get the ownership of this 6. This fluorine gets the ownership of this, but these 2 are being shared between the 2. So the bond is this. Bond formed by the mutual sharing of electrons between the atoms is called as covalent bond. Let us see a few more things. Nitrogen, we write a nitrogen as N2. Before nitrogen, let me go for oxygen. Oxygen atomic number 8, 2,6. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It also needs 2 electrons. This also needs 2 electrons. So what they do? They go for sharing. By sharing, what they do, they got 8. This also got 8. These 4 are ownership of this. This 4 ownership of this. But these 4 are being shared. To form a bond, we need 2 electrons. So how many bonds are there? 2 bonds are there. This is the structure for oxygen. Let me go for nitrogen. I'm rubbing off nitrogen. Nitrogen atomic number is 7. Electronic configuration, write it as 2,5. It needs 3 electrons to attain the octet structure. Then how? Nitrogen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nitrogen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what they share 3. Each one share 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. By sharing, nitrogen gets 8. 6 plus 2, 8. By sharing, this also get 8. So I write nitrogen as, this is the structure for nitrogen bond formation. Got it or not? This is the bond formation takes place in a covalent compound. Covalent bond is formed by, if the bond is formed by the covalent bond, the compounds are said to be covalent compounds. In a compound, if there is ionic bond, the corresponding compounds are called as ionic compounds. Similarly, here the compound is formed by a covalent bond. So if we call this compound as covalent compounds. How a covalent bond is formed? Covalent bond is formed by the mutual sharing of electrons between the atoms. This is in the formation of bond called as covalent bond. Covalent bond is formed by the mutual sharing of electrons between the atoms. Mutual sharing is, if you give 1, I will give 1. If you give 2, I will give 2. Mutual sharing of electrons between the atoms results in the formation of covalent bond. If I talk about the characteristics, covalent bond, generally if I compare the covalent bond, it's stronger one. Diamond is stronger. Boron, covalent bond is stronger. Understand? A covalent bond as such is stronger one. Covalent compounds exist in solid states, liquid states, and also in gaseous states. All 3 states, covalent compounds exist. But when I compare ionic bond, covalent bonds are weaker than ionic compounds. Covalent bond is weaker than ionic bond. But as such, if you see that covalent bond is stronger. Since only diamond, strongest non-metal, but what bond is there? Covalent bond only is there. Water, covalent bond. SO2, covalent bond, but it's in the gaseous state. Covalent compounds exist in all three states, but the covalent bond is said to be weaker compared to that of ionic bond. Here in ionic bond, the ions are held together by strong electrostatic force of attraction. Here, the force of attraction existing between the atoms we call as intermolecular force of attraction. The force existing between the atoms we call as a intermolecular force of attraction. Intermolecular force of attraction is slightly weaker than the ionic force of attraction. So only ionic compounds are slightly not that much stronger as that of ionic compounds. When we talk about melting and boiling point, ionic compounds have, some of the ionic compounds have high melting point too, but compared to, covalent compounds have high melting point too, but compared to ionic compounds, melting point and boiling point of covalent compounds is lesser. When I talk about the solubility, ionic compounds are not all ionic compounds are soluble in water. Some are soluble. That I want to go, now I'm not going into detail about solubility, because if I take N2 similar atoms, they are not polar. HCl, the electrons are shared only, but attractive power of chlorine is more. So instead of being in the common place, this electron will slightly shift towards chlorine. So slightly chlorine gets negative charge. Hydrogen lost its electron, so hydrogen slightly gets positive charge. It's a covalent compound, but this compound is said to be polar. Why? Charge is created due to the attractive tendency of chlorine. Where nitrogen, here both attractive power remains the same, though, so the electron cannot push to any one of them. So it is said to be non-polar. Polar compounds will be soluble in polar solvents. Non-polar compounds will be soluble in non-polar solvents. But when I talk about covalent compounds, I'm not talking about solubility. Why? Some of the compounds, covalent compounds are non-polar, some are polar. So I'm not making a general statement. So only we are not talking about the solubility of covalent compounds. We talk about the characteristics of covalent compounds only in physical state. They exist in all three states. Melting point, boiling point is higher only. Acidity is higher. But when compared to ionic compounds, it is weaker. We are not talking about solubility. Ionic compounds are polar, so they are soluble in polar solvents. All ionic compounds are polar. Charge is there, so they are soluble in water. Insoluble, you make a generalized statement. But in case of covalent compounds, there are two types of covalent compounds, polar and non-polar. When it's non-polar, both are similar atom, non-polar. Both are different atom, polar. Polar will be soluble in polar solvents. Non-polar compounds will be soluble in non-polar solvents. So only we are not making a generalized statement. So we didn't talk about solubility. Next is conductivity. Ionic compounds conduct in solid state, conduct heat electricity in solid state. Why? Because it doesn't conduct electricity in solid state, because there is no movement of ions. There is charge is there, ion is there. Since there is no movement of ions, they do not conduct electricity. But they conduct electricity in molten and aqueous form, because movement of ion is possible. But in the case of covalent compounds, they do not conduct electricity, because they are only atoms are held together. There is no formation of ions, so they do not conduct electricity. Covalent compounds do not conduct electricity, whereas ionic compounds conduct electricity. Why? Covalent compounds do not have ions in them. Here in covalent bond, in the covalent bond, in formation of covalent bonds, the atoms are held together. Since there is no formation of ions, covalent compounds do not conduct electricity. Whereas ionic compounds conduct electricity only in aqueous solution and in the aqueous solution and in the molten form, but not in the solid state. So what are the possible questions we have discussed here? Means compounds of carbon are very larger in number than any other compounds of any elements. Number one. What is the reason that carbon forms large number of compounds compared to any other elements? That is the one reason. Next, what is maybe covalent bond? Lewis dot structure of some of the covalent compounds. Then characteristics of covalent compounds. Only these 5 questions we have read. Go through the answers for these 5 questions when you come for the next class. Am I clear? Any doubt in this?
No
Any
doubt.
doubt?
Clear, ma'am.
Clear. Go through the content and come. We shall see it in the discuss. Only 5 questions I have just taken in this chapter. Only 5 questions, and most of the portions in this chapters are deleted portions. This portion is paid. Actually, if it's not deleted, this is a difficult chapter. Since most of the portions are deleted, this chapter is very simple for you. So go through the content. So far, I have discussed only 5 questions. Be thorough with the 5 questions when you come for the next class.
Okay.
Any doubt?
Which are the deleted ones, ma'am?
That is from homologous series is deleted, ma'am. Isomerism is deleted.
Okay.
Homologous series is from homologous series is deleted. For example, IUPAC also is deleted. From page number, there is nomenclature of carbon compounds is there or not? Till homologous series only you have, mark. Nomenclature, from nomenclature also you don't have. From nomenclature to at the back till everything is deleted.
Okay, ma'am.
You have only till homologous series. Or nomenclature.
Till soaps and detergents.
Yeah. Nomenclature I have doubt. I will check it out. Nomenclature you have. From the chemical properties of carbon compounds only it is deleted, I think so. Nomenclature.
Okay,
Nomenclature you have. From the chemical properties to soap or detergent, everything is deleted.
Okay.
I will check it out. Nomenclature I have a doubt. Homologous series and nomenclature I want to check it out. But our backside everything, compounds of everything, combustion reaction, all the things is being deleted.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. We shall wind up the class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Go through the content what we have discussed in the class and come prepared.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
is in your
Okay,
book.
ma'am.
Depends upon how you play the game.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.